Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a SamGladiator statue. Oh, and by the way, just in case you have any more building related needs, feel free to not only check out the description below, in which I'll be linking all of my tutorial playlists, but also feel free to check out the card system, in which I'll be linking more specific videos and playlists that I think that you guys will really like. Moving on, if you want to make Sam, here's what you're going to need. You will need some virtual planks, and some white stained clay. Grab purple stained clay, then grab yourself some dark grey wool. Grab white wool, dark blue, cyan, light blue, and finally guys, grab yourself some yellow wool. Unfortunately, we are going to need some more of those later on. We're going to need a lot more colours, but we can only hold this many. So once you have each one of those, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making them right here. You're going to want to kick off Sam with a row of 8 white wool in a row on the ground. That's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 white wool in a row. What you then want to do, guys, once you have the first row of Sam, for the second row, going from left to right, do this sequence of blocks on top. Do 1 purple stained clay, do 2 white wool, 2 purple stained clay, 2 white wool, 1 purple. For the next row, do 1 light blue, 2 purple, 2 light blue, 2 purple, 1 light blue. For the next 4 rows, guys, do 2 dark blue in the 2 center spots of the row, and then do cyan everywhere else, and that's for 4 rows, guys. So that'll be the first row, second, third, fourth. So just do that for 4 rows. I'd suggest doing the dark blue first, and then throw cyan everywhere else around. It doesn't really matter how you accomplish it. All that matters is that you end up with 4 of that very same row. For the next row after that, going from left to right, do 2 cyan, 4 dark blue, 2 cyan. For the next 2 rows, guys, throw a single cyan on the ends of your row, and then do dark blue everywhere else. And like I said, that's for 2, so I'm already 1 step ahead of you. I've already got the rows completed, but you want to do that for 2 rows. 1 cyan on each end, dark blue everywhere else. For the next row, do an entire row of dark blue wool. Once you have that entire row of dark blue wool, for the next row after that, do 2 dark blue in the 2 center spots of the row, and then do birchwood planks everywhere else. Then for the 2 rows after that, do 2 solid rows of birchwood planks. So that'll be 1, 2, and that's 1 and 2. For the next row, guys, do 4 birchwood, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1 white wool, then 3 birchwood. For the row after that, do an entire row of birch wood. For the row after that, do 4 birch wood again, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1 white wool, then 3 birch wood. For the row after that, do an entire row of birch wood again. Then for the row after that, do 5 birch wood, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this time, then 1 white wool, then 2 yellow. For the next row, you want to do 6 birch wood, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then do 2 dark grey wool. What you then want to do, guys, is discard your dark grey wool, you don't really need it anymore, and grab yourself some red wool, because we're going to be needing that. Once you've got your red wool, you can then, for the next row, do this. Do 3 birch wood, that's 1, 2, 3, 2 red, 3 birch wood. For the next 2 rows, do 2 birch wood, 1 white, 2 red, 1 white, 2 red. And like I said, that's for 2 rows, so once you've got that first row taken care of, you can do the exact same thing to the row just above it. Now, for the final row of the torso, do this sequence of blocks. Do 1 birch wood, 2 white, 2 red wool, 2 white, 1 birch wood, and what you'll end up with, guys, should look a little bit like this, and that is the torso and legs of SamGladiator. Once you've got those taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So, is he missing anything? We probably have to give him arms, don't we? So come all the way up to the top right hand corner of your statue, and going right of this top right hand birchwood plank block, go right by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, with your birchwood planks. Then going down from this row 4, do a row of 8 birch wood. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just do 3 more rows. So you just want to have in total 9 rows of 4 birchwood planks coming down. So that's that first row plus 8, 9. What you then want to do underneath that is you want to do an entire row of white wool coming down. Then follow it up by doing 2 rows of white stained clay, so that's 1 and 2. And that will be Sam's first arm, or at least the front of his first arm. Once you've got that taken care of on the right hand side, do the exact same thing on the left. So from the top left hand corner block, this one right here, you want to go left by 4, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you want to go down from each one of these 4 blocks by 8, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, let's restart this since the counting's messed up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So all we have to do is just do 8 more rows, and bam, there we go. We have all of the birch wood. Underneath that, we want to do an entire row of white wool. Then underneath that, 2 rows of white stained clay. So we just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like that, and that is perfect, guys. That is the entire front of your SamGladiator statue. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So we now literally want to move all the way around to the back of the statue. Take out your white wool. Take each one of these 2 bottom corners of the statue and extend the corners coming towards you each by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Then connect each one of those third blocks together, like so. What we're now going to do is build up the entire back of the statue, very much how we've just built up the entire front of the statue on top of these 8 back blocks, and then we'll focus on the sides later. So for the next row of the back of the statue, do an entire row of purple stained clay. After that, do an entire row of light blue wool. For the next 4 rows after that, do 2 dark blue in the 2 center spots of the row, and then do cyan everywhere else, and that's for 4. So you can see that we've already got the dark blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we just have to add in the cyan. So we're just going to do that, aren't we? So just dark blue wool in the center, cyan everywhere else. For the next row, do 4 dark blue wool in the 4 center spots of the row, and then do cyan everywhere else. Then for the next 2 rows, do 1 cyan on the ends of your row, and then do dark blue everywhere else. So cyan on the ends of your row, 2 rows that is, and then dark blue everywhere else, like so. Then for the next row, do an entire row of dark blue wool. Like that. What you can then do, guys, once you've reached this point right here, is we can now just turn the entire back of the statue into birchwood planks. So take out your birchwood planks, match the height of the front of the statue just as I've done there, and then just make every single other row of the back of the statue birchwood planks, and that's all you have to do. He's wearing a jacket. There's no detail on the back of the jacket or anything, so therefore the back of the statue is quite simply birchwood planks. Very plain looking, but hey, that's what's back there. So what you want to have should look a little bit like this. And once you've got that taken care of, the obvious next step for us is to take care of the backs of the arms. The backs of the arms are not only the exact same as they are on the front of the statue, but they're also in the exact same position. So once you've got the back taken care of, all you have to do is look directly forward at the fronts of the arms, and you just have to apply them directly onto the back of the statue. Use the same blocks, put them in the same position as they are on the back as they are the front, and you'll be good to go. So there's no real reason to explain any of this. You guys should be able to just simply transfer the front of the arms onto the back of the statue, no problem. Once you've done that, you should end up with something that should look exactly like this. Once you guys have got the back of the statue taken care of completely, it's now time for us to move on to the side. So let's do exactly that. So come over to this side of the statue. Let's start on this side. It doesn't really matter which side you start on, but why not this one? Come all the way down to the bottom of the feet. You can see here where on the left and right hand side, so the front and the back of the statue, we have purple stained clay here. Match that colour with the centre. You can see that we have light blue just above it. Match that colour, throw it in the centre. We have cyan, again, match that colour, throw it in the centre. And that's what you want to do going all the way up the side of the statue, guys. Whatever colour is on the left and right hand side of you, match it, throw it in the centre of the 2 rows. So just match the colour and then just throw it in between. It is as easy as that, guys. That's all you have to do. That's all I want you guys to do. And that's all you have to do to complete the side of the statue. And I've already went a little ahead of myself, but what you also want to do, guys, is you want to fill the bottom of the hand in with white stained clay, and then you kind of just want to follow the exact same procedure going up the side of the arm, as you can see that I've already done. You just want to, where there's white wool, where there's birch, and even when you get up to the top of the shoulder, you want to do the same thing. So you can see that we have birchwood planks here. You want to do the same thing with birchwood planks. Come in by at least 3, no less. You can come in by more. And that's what you want to have for the side of the statue, guys. It's really, really easy. Not only do you want to do that on one side, of course, you want to do that on 2 sides. So go all the way over to the opposite side here, and we'll be doing the same thing. So here we have purple. After that, there is light blue. Then we have some cyan coming all the way up. Then we have a little bit of dark blue here. Then we have some birchwood planks. Then fill in the bottom of the hands in with white stained clay. And then we just do the exact same thing. We're now just matching colours, and it just so happens that most of the arm is just at birchwood planks. So we just fill the side of the arm in with birchwood planks, and when we get to the top, we also fill the top of the arm in with birchwood planks again. And that will be the second side of the statue, and it just wants to look a little something like this, guys, and it's as easy as that. Now, once you've got that taken care of, we can move on to the next bit, and for the next bit, we're actually going to need a few more colours. So, what can we get rid of, guys? Get rid of all of the blues. We don't need them anymore. Once you've gotten rid of the blues, grab yourself some black wool. You'll also need some brown stained clay, and also grab yourself some pink wool. Once you have each one of those 3 materials, you then want to come all the way up to the front top of the statue. So you want to be on top of the 8 middle blocks of the torso, right here. On top of the 8 middle blocks of the torso, you want to stack a row of 8 white wool. So that's a row of 8 white wool on top of the 8 middle blocks. In front of that row of 8, add an additional row of 8 white wool. In the front of the white wool, do an entire row of white stained clay. Then on top of the white stained clay, do 2 rows of white stained clay on top of that outward initial row of white stained clay. So that's 1, 2, and that'll be 1, 2, like so. What you then want to do is, for the next row, going from left to right on top of the second row of white stained clay, do 1 white stained clay, 1 white wool, 1 black, 2 white clay, 1 black, 1 white stained clay. For the next row, do 1 white stained clay, 2 black wool, then 1 white stained clay, 1 brown, then 2 black wool, then 1 brown stained clay. Then for the next row, do 2 brown clay, then 1 white clay, then 2 brown, whoops, that's 2 brown clay, I had black there, then do 1 white stained clay, then 2 brown stained clay. Then do 2 solid rows of brown clay, so that will be 1 and 2. And in doing that, you've actually pretty much completed the face of Sam, except we do have a little bit more detail to add. Shall we add it now instead of adding it later, since we're actually here? I think we should. So once you've got that taken care of, guys, there is a little bit more that we can add. So Sam obviously has himself some hair in front of his head. It's not only just flat like to his face, obviously, it's nice and 3D. So starting from this block right here, on top of his left-hand part of his left eyebrow, you want to place a brown clay above, right here. You then want to go up 1, then left 1, up 1, then do an up right diagonal, then do 2 bottom right diagonals, that's 1, 2, then do an up right diagonal, bottom right diagonal, up right diagonal, then an up left diagonal. And you just want to have something which should look a little bit like this, and that is just the hair in front of Sam's head. Once you've got that taken care of, guys, we can then move on to the next bit. So for the next bit, you want to come to the left hand side of Sam's head right here. Actually, you know what, we'll have to probably do the base of his head first. So take out your white wool and come all the way around to the back of his head. Take this first initial row of white wool here and extend it, coming over the back of the statue until it overhangs the back of the statue by 2 rows. So that'll be 1 and 2, just like that. So you just want to have 2 rows overhanging the back of the statue with your white wool. Once you've got that, we can now proceed on to the bit that we were just going to do ever so slightly earlier. So you can see here, we want to be on top of this first white wool coming in from the face, and on top of this white wool do 3 white clay coming up, that's 1, 2, 3. Then do brown wool for the rest of the row coming up until it's equal height with the front of the head. Then for the next row, so on top of this white wool now, we want to do one white wool, we then want to do one white clay, and then just do brown stained clay until it reaches the top of the head, so in line with the top of the head. You then want to, once you've done that on one side of the head, do the exact same thing on the opposite side of the head here. So on the opposite side of the head, just copy exactly what you did on that side. And it's quite easy to do because you can just look directly forward at that side and then just copy it, just in case you guys can't remember what to do anyway. But it's more than easy to just look directly forward and copy what you did on that side and do it to this side. Once you've done that to both sides, what you then want to do is come to the back two corners of the head, raise them up with your white wool until they are equal height with the front of the head, and then connect them to the front of the head, and also connect them together as well. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. You can then proceed to fill the back part of the head in with white wool, so you can then just fill this back part in with white wool, but the top of the head, you don't want to exactly just fill it in with white wool. So fill the back side faces in with white, so we've already done two of them and we're just about to move on to the third. Fill these three faces in with white, the side bits, but the top, you're just going to want to do something slightly different. So once you've got the side ones, then you can see at the top here, you want to fill the front part, this part, in with brown wool, and you want to fill the back part in with white. It's just because he's wearing some sort of like bunny hat thing, and obviously it wouldn't make sense if the white wool, you know, covered the front of his head, so we just have to separate it a little bit like that. So it just wants to be kind of, not exactly a half and half, but it's close enough. It's kind of like a half and half like this. So that's what you want to have. Now, once you've got that taken care of, we can then move on to the next bit. So come all the way up to the top of Sam's head, and come all the way up to the top back left-hand corner. So we want to be looking down on it like this. On top of this back left-hand corner of the head, place a white wool. Then come down towards the front of the head by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then go right 2. Then go up until you reach the back of the head again to form a U shape. Once you've done that on one side of the head, do the exact same thing on the other side of the head. So this corner shape 1, then down by 3, 1, 2, 3, then go left 2, and then go up until you reach the top of the head. So you have 2 U shapes. Then fill the 2 U shapes in with pink wool. So we just want to have something which should look like this. Once you've got those taken care of, you then want to come to the back of the head. And starting with, let's start with this left ear. You want to, in front of this white wool that we placed on top of the back corner, place a white wool in front of it, come down by 2, bottom right diagonal, up right diagonal, up by 2, and then fill the center of that shape in with white, and that's just one of the bunny ears. Do the exact same thing to the opposite side here. So let's take this corner block 1, then we go down by 2, 1, 2, bottom left diagonal, up left diagonal, up by 2, and then fill the center of that shape in with pink wool, and you'll end up with something that should look like this. And those are just the bunny ears, which are actually very, very cute. So once you've got those taken care of, guys, you have actually 100% fully completed the statue. I actually really, really like this skin, just because it's kind of like the formal attire, and for whatever reason he's wearing a bunny. Just a bunny helmet, just a bunny hat, doesn't make any sense. I love it. Once you've got all of that taken care of, guys, the statue is 100% fully complete. Let's take a look at him. Hopefully you guys like this statue. Hopefully you've managed to make it. And if you've done both of those things, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, a favorite, a share, anything you'd feel like doing to help me out, guys. I would always vastly appreciate, as you know I always do. So if you wouldn't mind, like, favorite, share, feel free to comment down below. Who would you like to see next? I'm always interested in seeing who you guys want to see me make next, if that sentence makes sense. I think it does. It's very early in the morning, guys. Feel free to check out the description, in which I will leave all of my tutorial playlists all the way in the description. But if you really want to check some stuff out, check out the card system, and I'll leave some more specific playlists and videos that I think that you guys will like. If you like this, you'll probably want to check out the card system if you want to see some more stuff from me. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Like, favorite, share if you wouldn't mind, and most importantly, other than like, favorite, and sharing, let me know who you want to see me make next, because I do only take your guys' suggestions. I don't just make random YouTubers that I like. It comes directly from you guys. So thank you very much for watching. Like, favorite, share if you wouldn't mind. Comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.